So just take a moment to settle into your body. Just let the attention come inwards. You might want to close down the eyes or soften the gaze. And let's just take 3 really deep breaths just to let go of the day so far. So let's take a deep breath in through the nostrils and let's let it out through the mouth. So really expelling all the negative energy. So inhale and exhale. One last time, inhale. Let it all go. Allowing the shoulders to drop down, the face to soften. So let's just check in with our sitting position. So just check in that you're nice and upright in the spine. Shoulders kind of rolled back and down. And just allow the breath to come easily and naturally in and out through the nose. And just bring your awareness to the sensations in your body. How are you feeling today? Are you feeling any tension, tightness, maybe in the hips or the knees, the shoulders? And no need to try and change that, just observe the sensations. And then notice the feeling that the body makes when it comes in contact with either the floor or the block. Just feeling the heaviness of the body and the connection as it's meeting these other objects. And just for a couple of breaths, just notice how that feels on the body. Then bring the attention to your mind. How's it feeling today? Is it jumping around at 1,000,000 miles an hour? Is it quite focused and calm? And again, don't try to change it, don't try to control anything. Just kind of check in and see what's happening with your mind at this moment. And now bring the attention to your emotions. And how are you feeling in yourself at the moment? Are you feeling happy, sad, stressed, or relaxed? And again, just allow yourself to notice these emotions. Don't try and change anything. Just observe how you're feeling at this present time. And now bring the attention finally onto the breath. And the sensation of the breath as it flows in through the nostrils and out through the nostrils. Notice the quality of the breath, the temperature of the breath. Does it feel warm? Does it feel cool? Just allow the mind to focus on the breath like an anchor. Just following that gentle cycle of breath, continuous cycle, breathing in and breathing out. On your next inflow, just roll the shoulders up and back. And as you exhale, relax them down. And on your next inhale, you can gently open up the eyes. Okay. So, we're ready. Actually, we're just going to do some seated exercises. Probably easier to take the block out. You can try it with the block. It definitely is possible if you want to try. I'm just going to get rid of it at the moment. So maybe you want to just stretch your legs out if they're feeling a bit numb. In fact, let's stretch them out. Let's point the toes away because you might have got a bit stiff there if you're not used to sitting. Bring the toes towards you. Put them away. Bring them towards you. Maybe do some rotations one way and the other. And then once you're ready, you can cross over the legs. Let's all put, because we'll swap it the other way. Let's do the left in front of the right so that we make sure we're giving equal attention to both sides. Okay, bring the left hand to the side. Stretch up, so you're really stretching out through the torso. And we're going to come over to the left. So you should feel a really nice stretch all the way down the right hand side. So you can be up on your fingertips, you can have your palm flat on the floor, you could even come all the way down to your elbow. Up to you, just as long as you're getting a nice stretch there. Just take a couple of breaths. And now don't come back up, but what you're going to do is take your right hand and bring it over to the right. So it's stretching out to the right. Kind of bring it down towards the ground. And you should feel, so just kind of play around with your head, you should get a really nice stretch along the right hand side of the neck there. I really like this. Ooh. If you can kind of drop your head and move it, you almost massage the side of your neck. Great. And then to come back up, let's come back up to sitting. So keep the legs crossed the same way they were. And just roll the shoulders back, coming up through the torso, and we're just going to walk the hands forward. So really starting to open up the hips, stretching out the glutes. And if you want to come a little bit further, you can walk your hands But no, it's entirely up to you. You don't need to do that. You can just let gravity do the work. Breathing really deeply always really helps when you're folding forward. And come on, back up. We're going to take the left hand, bring it behind us, stretch up the right, and then come on over. You can bring the right hand onto the left knee if your legs are crossed, but if they're not crossed, so if you want to keep your legs out, that will also work just as well if you bring your hand to your hip. So when we're doing twists, feel as if you're lengthening up through the torso on the inhale, and then twisting round a bit more on the exhale. You can follow, if it doesn't hurt your neck to do so, you can follow the twist with your eyes, so gaze over your left shoulder. And then come back to neutral. So from here, just extend the left leg. The right knee is bent. We'll do a forward fold. So let's just do a forward fold down the middle. So looking forward, reaching up, and then falling forward. And ideally you want your left leg to be opened up to the side, so rather than being directly forward, so rather than it being there, it's kind of here, and that way you're opening up on the inside of the left hip. Yeah, if you open up the leg, that's great. Using the breath, really breathing deeply. And then walk the hands back. We're going to bring our right hand behind. Put your hands behind, and then you can push your hips up, so you're coming up on your right knee. There we go, and then sweep the hand back. Excellent. Oh, brilliant. And then sitting back down. You might want to stretch out the legs, give them a shake if you want. And then when you're ready, we're going to do the other side. So crossing the legs again, but this time your right leg is going to be over the left. So sitting up nice and straight, we'll do a side bend. So bring the right hand to the ground, maybe up on the fingertips, then lift up the left arm. Deep breath in, stretching up through the torso. Exhale, coming over to the side. Really nice. And you want to try and keep both sitting bones fully connecting with the ground. So the idea isn't to come over as far as you can, that's not really the point. The idea is just to feel the stretch. As long as you're feeling a stretch down the left hand side, then it's working for you. Make sure you're continuing to breathe, then bring the left hand, so stay in your side stretch. The only thing you're moving now is your left arm, bringing it over, stretching it out to the side. You might be able to bring it down to the mat, maybe not. But what we're aiming for here is stretching out the neck, so it should feel quite nice. And you can maybe drop the head. Maybe work out some of the kinks there in the neck. It's one of my favourite stretches actually. And then gently to come up. Just be careful you're not going to strain the neck. So come up nice and slowly to seating position. So we're going to twist. So we're bringing the right hand behind this time. So breathe in, really So you want to keep the torso nice and perpendicular to the ground, and then when you exhale, coming round. So inhale, lengthen, and you'll find that if you kind of squeeze your stomach muscles in, you might be able to twist a bit more. It gives you a bit more control in your core. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Looking round to your right. On your next inhale, come on back round. And we're going to extend the right leg. Off to the right, hands off to the right. Yeah, brilliant. So deep breath in, reaching up, and then falling forward. So trying again to keep both sitting bones sitting on the ground, so you're not, because you get a tendency to want to kind of tip over onto that bent knee. And it's perfectly okay if you've got a bend in that extended leg. It doesn't have to be straight. So just feel what's working for you. Don't force yourself too far. And then walk the hands back in, and we'll just do a nice counter pose. So bring the left hand behind you, and then from here you should be able to push your hips forward so that you actually come up on the knee, and then stretch back so you get a slight back bend to counterbalance the forward fold you did. And then come on back down. Oh, give your legs a shake. And then we're going to come up onto hands and knees. So let's take a moment just to check that we've got a really nice stable position. So wrists underneath the shoulders, knees directly underneath the hips. And then dial the hands out as if you're opening a jar out the way with both hands. That will fully engage your arms. So you're all kind of switched on, and then kind of suck the belly up a little bit so that you're not collapsing, so you get a nice firm posture. So drop the belly, open up the chest, look up, and then tuck the tailbone in, pushing your back up. Excellent. So with your own breath, on the inhale, dropping the belly and pushing the shoulder blades back, so really overemphasizing it. Exhale, pushing your back up to the ceiling. Do that really slowly. The slower the better. Coordinating the body movements with the breath. And then come back to neutral. Okay, we're going to try something new here, so let's see how this goes. So you might end up facing different ways. So I am going to turn my right leg slightly so that my foot's outwards. And I might walk my hand slightly further in front. Because what I'm going to do, so just maybe watch first of all, is come up on one hand. So it's like a side plank. So I've turned my right foot out, just because that's going to work as a kind of state to stabilise me. And then I'm going to come onto that right knee and the right hand and stretch out the foot if you can. Beautiful. If you can, if you want, you could stretch the arm up if you've got the balance. And I'm just going to offer some alternatives for people. You can stay here, which is great. If you want, you can lift up the left foot. So lift the left foot. Excellent. Excellent. And then bring it back down again. Come on to all fours. Beautiful. This time we're going to take the left leg Stretch it out to the side. Beautiful. And you're going to walk. You can stay here because you should get a really nice stretch all along the inside of the thigh. If you would like, you can come down onto your forearms. See how that intensifies the stretch. It's entirely up to you. Yeah. Just take a few deep breaths here. And then to come out, if you're down on your forearms, just lift the head, walk the hands back in so that you're taking your weight, and then you can come onto all fours again. So I'm going to do this on the other side, so I'm going to turn around so you can undo. Let's do cat and cow again, just to get back into the groove. So you know what you're doing now, so let's just do 3 rounds. Really getting some well-needed movement into the spine. Keep the spine moving, keep yourself, help you stay active to a nice ripe old age. Okay, then come back to neutral. It's no rush, just in your own time. We'll all meet back in tabletop. So from here, this time your left leg, the bottom half of your leg is going to come out to the side. No, so stay on your knees and just bring your foot out. So you're kind of pivoting, yeah? And then because you've done that, it means you'll be able to come up on your left hand into a nice side plank. So once you're in this position, really feel as if you're pushing your hips up. Excellent. So really opening up in the chest. If you would like, you can pick up the right foot so that it's parallel to the ground. Excellent. I've got another extension, but I'm going to leave it for this week. We'll do it next week from there. So let's bring the foot down. Come back onto all fours. Bring the foot in. Excellent. And this time you're bringing the right foot out to the sides. Stretching out. So your foot can either be on its side, but if you can, bring the whole foot onto the floor. Yep. You can either stay here, this is a great stretch, or if you would like, come on down onto your forearms. If you really want to go for gold, you can come right down, bring your forehead to the ground. Ooh, that feels good. Try and relax the shoulders. You might find that they've all of a sudden tensed up. And come up. Either come up on your forearms if you aren't already there. Walk the hands in. Come back onto all fours. And we're just from here going to come up into standing position. So easiest way to do it is kind of be a down dog, if that works for you. Otherwise, we're just going to be standing. So tuck the toes under, push the hips up, walk the feet out. And then the easiest way to get up from here is kind of to walk the feet forward, walk the hands back, so that you end up being in the middle of your mat. And then slowly roll on up. Okay. So let's just take a moment. Actually, I always feel after I've been bent over, I can feel all the blood rushing. So let's take a moment just to enjoy that. Shine the palms forward. Excellent. So we're going to do a nice standing routine here. We're going to start in forward fold. So maybe kind of think about where you're going to be standing so that you can see me. Yeah, maybe move mats and things. I think we're still okay for social distancing. Yeah, that probably makes sense. Excellent. So I'll do it on rights and lefts. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so nice wide stance. This is easier actually the wider you are, believe it or not, because we're going to do a forward fold. So bring the hands to the hips, roll the shoulders back, and you want to really feel as if you're stretching and growing out of the torso. So really think lengthening the spine. Take a deep breath in, and then keeping that length in the torso, we're just going to bend forward. So really keeping the straight back. So that you're really folding from the hip creases, and just come to where's comfortable for you. I mean, and once you're there, you might find it's easier to support yourself by putting your hands on your thighs. If you can come further, you can come down, bring the hands to the floor, and you might realise now what I meant about the wider your legs are, the easier it is. It's how long your arms are also plays a part. So if your hands are on the floor, try and make it so that your elbows aren't coming out to the side, so that your elbows are facing backwards. So that if you do have a bend in your arms, the arms are going backwards. Excellent. Excellent. Let's just take a couple of breaths here. And then come on up. So you can either have your hands on your hips, but you might find that that's more work on the back. So if you need some help, put your hands on your thighs. It helps you come on up. Everybody okay with that? Right, we'll do it again, and we're going to incorporate a twist to either side. So if you want a wee break, shake your legs. Just same thing again, so you kind of know now where your happy position for your feet is, toes pointing forward. So again, really lengthen out through the torso. So if you've got a string in your head, it's pulling you up to the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, and then fold on forward. Find your spot. Just take a deep in breath and out breath. You can bring the hands to the floor if you want. Take a deep breath in, and then walk the hands over to the left. Yep. If you need to bend your knees, that's perfectly okay. You're still going to get the benefit of it. And then just hold on to whatever works for you. Might be on the outside of the foot, might be around the ankle, might be around the calf. Making a twisting round. Just a couple of breaths here. Deep breath in and out. In. And on the out, we're going to walk the hands back to centre, and then come on over to the right. We're using the breath on the outflow. Maybe you can twist round, just checking you're not spinning the back. And then come on back to centre. And again, your choice how you come up. You can either put your hands on the thighs or the hands on the hips and try and come up with a straight back. So with control, using the core. Excellent. Again, if you want a bit of relief, give your legs a shake. We've got a few more standing positions to do. Just going to have a go at triangle. So again, wide-legged position. Maybe not as wide as last time. Turn your right foot out. Yep, and so left foot is kind of parallel to your mat. I like to turn my toes in just slightly because it helps me with my balance, but I still want to be able to keep my hips pointing that way. So inhale, arms up, just like we're used to doing what we're doing in Warrior 2, parallel to the ground. And then as you exhale, this time, keeping the arms up, come on over with the torso to the right. So all I'm doing is in the same plane, coming that way. Yeah, that's all that's moved. And then once you're ready, you just drop one arm, the other one comes up, so the legs are still straight. And your hand, you might have your hand on your shin, just below the knee, but you don't really want to be taking, I don't even put my hand on my knee, because if I put it on it, the temptation is to collapse onto it. So if we do that, excellent. So one hand should feel as if it's been pulled up to the ceiling, the other hand has been pulled down to the floor. Very good. And then to come on out, look at your toes, maybe bend the right knee. There's less strain when you come up that way. Beautiful. Right, now we're going to grab our blocks. And do extended side angle. So exactly the same feet position as you were doing before. So again, turn out the right foot. Okay there? And this time we can start kind of by going through Warrior Two. So arms out, so block in your right hand. And this time you're just going to bend that knee. So we're kind of in Warrior Two, yeah? But now, so you actually have a choice. You might not need the block, that's an extension. I'm going to put the block there, just inside my foot. Okay? So what you might want to do is bring your forearm onto your just up above your knee. Yeah? And you can keep it there, that's absolutely fine. Bring the left arm over the top. Okay, so that's fine, that's like option one. Option two, bring your hand onto the block. And so you can all stay there if you want, but I just want to show you how blocks are so good, because what you can do is once you get good at that, you can do that. So you can give it a go if you want to try. Notice here, I see my elbow, I can use it to keep my knee pressed open. Yeah, and then as you get, come on down. That's kind of the beauty of blocks. Okay, so to come on up, let's just come back, bring our hands to our knees. Whew. Okay, legs trembling. We okay? Let's give them a shake. Because we're doing the blocks, I want to try, so we'll try a wee balancing one. Okay, so let's, same position. Bring the foot out. Yeah, so the easiest, again, let's go into it the same way. Let's bring the arms up, bend the knee. Okay, so from here, you kind of want to bring the block quite far in front. You might bring the foot just behind, because we're going to be lifting that back foot. Okay, so the block, I've got quite a good distance in front. I find that works better for me. Yeah, and then, whoop, once you're ready, we're going to come up on that leg. Just see if you can, we won't do it for long. Little balancing posture. Yeah, so it's, if you're finding it difficult, what you can do is just come up on your toe. Excellent. And then come on down. Well done. Okay? Nearly done. 2 more postures, then we're doing the other side. Everybody okay? Yeah. Yeah? Okay, so legs not quite as far apart. Feet slightly pointing outwards. And then we're just going to bend the knees. And you want to try and keep the knees bending open. Okay? And from here, lift up the arms. So not slouching forward in the chest, staying nice and open. So you can stay here, you can sink a little bit lower if you would like. And then come on up. Okay, we'll just do it once more, now you know what it feels like. Okay, so come on down, keeping the knees open. If you would like, sinking lower. Come on up. Whew. Okay, last one. This one's for Martin. So, because we discovered something amazing last week, yeah? So we're going to come down in a squat. So, and I thought that we might try this. This might make a difference because it really worked. So we're going to come down from here, and you want your knees to be nice and open. So the way I do it is just like this. Blocks are good because you can, if you need a little bit of a, you can always rest on your blocks. And the things that we found with Martin is that can actually really help with your balance. Yeah, it actually, even though it's light, I think it's because your arms are out front, it really helps. Yeah. But the key is you want to try and keep the knees pressing open. That's why it's quite good once you don't need the blocks, because you can come into prayer pose with your hands, which keeps your knees open. Okay? So from here, you can use the block to help you up. Come on up, back into standing. Okay? Let's give the legs a shake, so we've got a few to do on the other side. So legs wide, and this time I'm going to pick up the left foot. And I like to bring my right foot in just slightly. It keeps me upright. Bring the arms up. Deep breath in. And on the exhale, just bring the torso. That's all you're doing. Legs are staying straight. And then once you've gone as far as you can, all you need to do is drop the hands. Excellent. So really feeling as if your right hand's pointing up, your left hand stretching down. And it's almost as if you've got a sheet of glass in front of you and behind you, so you're all in the one plane. So you're not tipping forward or leaning back. And to come up, just to protect the knees, it's good to look at your toes. You can bend the knee slightly, the left knee, come on up. Give your leg a shake. So we're going to do the extended side angle one, and that's the one that you can, if you want, use your block. So if you would like, stick the block there, so it's ready if you want to use it. Yep. So inhale, arms up. This time we're going to bend the left knee. Option number one, bring the forearm down onto the left knee. Bring the right arm over. And you can stay here, staying strong in the legs, or bring the hand to the block. Yeah. So, yeah, great. And then it's up to you where you want the block to go. So you can't really play around, since it's your first time using them. What works, you should really feel this in the thighs, great strengthener for the legs. And let's come on up. If you want, you can use the block to help you. Always good to do the same thing. Look there, bend the knee, straighten the knee. Come on up. Nearly there. We've got half moon, goddess, squat, and then we're on the floor. So, half moon, remember. So, hold it in your left hand. A good way to come in. Well, actually, let's not bother. Let's just do it rather than making it complicated. Let's just put the block in front of the left foot. Put your hand on the block. So I've got my left knee bent, yeah, because then it's easier for me. Pick up, to come on up. Oh, it's too close. Ooh. Oh, I'm wobbly on this side. And once you're up, because what you want is to open up in the hip so that you're in one plane. I'm much better on the other side than this side. Ooh. So really stretching out with the foot, feeling the head pointing in the other direction, right arm pointing up as far as you can. And again, this is one of the ones that you can move the block. Have a little play with that. It's quite a good fun one. Left foot point left. Yeah, because you can do it like that, but then you are all in the one plane. It's trying to turn you so that when your foot's pointing that way, so that to open up, you have to open up your right hip, if that makes sense. So that you're actually turning this hip, opening up that way. How are we doing for... Oh, wow! Wow, okay, so we don't have to do goddess and squat again. Okay, so we're going to just come down onto the ground then. So let's go via squat. I'm going to turn round because I'm going to end up lying on my mat. So I'm just going to, because you're meant to flow a little bit in yoga rather than just saying, can everybody lie down on your fronts? Let's go into yogi squat, but then immediately from here, bring your hands to the ground. Come onto all fours. And lie down on the front. And here's another place where you can use your block. Sorry if I've got you down. Hang on. What you're going to do is I want you to put that in between your legs so you can reach when you're there. Because see, when you do back exercises, if you squeeze something in between your thighs, it really engages the lower back and it protects it against any damage. So that's kind of any back exercises that's great to do. So from here, let's bring the hands to the sides, and all I'm going to do is lift up my feet here. So I'm going to squeeze the block, lift up my feet, and then if you want, you can also lift up the head and the arms, so you're like Superman. So really engaging the back, and then come on down. We're going to do it again, but this time we're going to bring the arms out to the sides. So, and then the next inhale, come on up, lifting up the feet, lifting up the head, and then lower. And for the last one, this is a bit harder because our arms are in front, so if it's up to you, if you want, you can just bring the arms by the side. But just slightly more challenging, full Superman on the inhale, come on up. Excellent, squeezing the block, and then, let it all go. And you've worked hard, so let's take a moment in crocodile. So bring one hand on top of the other, put your forehead on your hands, let the feet, the toes point out the way, heels pointing in. Very good for the lower back. So just take a moment there, listening to the breath. From here, don't worry, it's a nice easy one. Come up on your hands and knees, bring the toes together, knees open, and just up, stretch out the arms and come on into child's pose. So it's up to you. You can either just completely relax in a restorative position here. If you want to just chill, so just let the hips sink down, let the elbows rest on the floor, forearms. If you want, then you want it to be a bit more active, you can really, really stretch the arms out. And if you want to work the shoulders, come on up on your fingertips. Choice is yours. So if you're up on your fingertips, try and make sure that your arms are stretched out, and then you'll get the most benefit of the stretch to the shoulders, through the arms. Really feel as if your heart is sinking down into the floor, hips sinking down and towards the heels. And then on the next in-breath, you can walk the hands in, bring the knees together. How are we doing? Oh, let's do one more for the back. So again, so come on up on your knees. Just pop it in between the thighs. We're going to do camel. So this can be quite an extreme stretch. So I'd probably recommend really only doing the first one, but I'll show you some more. So just bring the hands kind of onto the bum, fingers pointing down. Kind of push your shoulder blades together, and then slight back bend, looking up at the ceiling. So you can either do that and just stay there. That's perfectly okay. You can probably already feel that's a fairly decent stretch to the back. If you don't have any back problems, and you want to try, you can come back a little further, and then eventually you can bring your hands onto your heels, opening up in the chest. To come out of this, but come out very carefully, so look forwards, let go of one hand, let go of the other hand, come back up. Yeah? And from here, we're just going to come down onto the ground. We've got a really nice stretch for you. So, we'll use the block. We're going to do supported fish. Good one for the back. Lovely chest opener, and yeah, good for before bed as well. Very nice. So, bring it here, and where you're wanting it to land, you're going to lie on top of it, is just underneath the shoulder blades. So you might take a wee minute to kind of shiggle it around, or just on the shoulder blades is okay. You don't want it in the small of your back. Okay. Yep. Make sure it's comfy, and then once you're there, open out your hands. Let your head come back. The top of your head might come to the floor rather than the back of your head. Should feel quite nice and relaxing. Bring your hands far away from the body, back of the hands on the floor. Relax down the shoulders, open up the chest. Enjoy the sensation in your arms. You might have that sensation, you know, when the muscles have been worked, and now they've been allowed to relax. Really noticing the breath. It's probably starting to flow more deeply. Slow down. All the hard work's over. from here to come up, you come up on your elbows and just remove the block. Very gently, let's roll down onto your back. Not quite Shavasana yet, but still a very restorative pose. You bring the soles of the feet together. Letting the knees fall open. We did quite a lot of strength work in the legs today. So don't try and force the knees open, just like gravity. Do what it does, just do what feels good to you. Maybe bring the hands onto the belly. Feeling that comforting expansion of the belly as the air flows in. And then feel the belly falling away as you exhale. Allow the attention to move inwards. Focusing on yourself, the sensations in your body. From here, we're going to move into Shavasana. Your choice. If you particularly like this, you can stay where you are, but otherwise, bring the hands to the outside of the knees. Bring the knees together, then extend the left leg and the right leg. Whichever position just works best for you, but it's quite nice to bring the heels to the outside edges of the mat, which allows the feet, the toes to point outwards, opens up, relaxes the thighs. Bring the hands a comfortable distance away from the body. Palms up. Tuck the chin in slightly, lengthening out the neck. Allow all the muscles in the face to soften. The jaw to soften, as we often store tension there. And as we did at the beginning of class, just bring the awareness to your body, different sensations that it's feeling now. Is it feeling any different to how it felt at the beginning of class? Just notice any sensations in the muscles. Any effects of the hard work that you've done with your body. And then notice the sensations you feel where the body is coming in connection with the floor. The heaviness of your body at those points.
And also the sensation of the floor, or your clothes, or your mat, pressing against your skin. And then bring the awareness to your mind and notice any difference in the activity of your mind to the activity at the start of class. Again, no need to change anything. Just observe what's happening in your mind now. Bring your awareness back into your body, noticing the sounds around you, being aware of the people around you. Make some movements in your fingers, your toes, rotate your ankles, rotate your wrists, maybe bend your knees, bringing the soles of the feet to the floor, rocking knees to side to side. And then very gently, maybe by rolling onto your side, you can come up. You're very welcome to stay lying down if you would like, otherwise gently help yourself up into any comfortable seated position. Rolls the neck one way and the other, and then open out the arms, opening up the chest, stretching them to the outer edges of the room. And as you inhale, bring the arms up overhead, palms coming together. Exhale, bring the palms down in front of the face, to the chest. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you.